Hi there, I just want to do a little video. Haven't done one in a while, haven't had a chance to do one in a while. I've been going through a lot of ascension, you could say. I've been going through a lot of realising things on this path of mine. A lot of energy ascension, a lot of understanding. You know, that's what ascension really is. It's really just understanding things. And your understanding, and that's what ascends you, is clarity, understanding, and that takes you deeper into yourself. You're understanding your real self, your real infinite self. But lately also I've been listening to an audio version of the Bible, the Genesis, and basically you can get all this stuff on YouTube. And I didn't look for it, it just was there, and so I decided to listen. And you know, after listening to this stuff for a few days, I can actually tell you that this stuff is just stories made up. That's all this stuff is. It's just basically what you're listening to is basically stories, children's stories, and a bit like Disneyland or something. It's not real. And the crazy thing is, what made me compelled to listening is I've seen people on YouTube who I think are crazy, older people as well, people like that are past their 50s and 60s, and they do conferences and telling people to really worry, and they read bits from the Bible. It's just stories. It's not real. You know, the Bible isn't the devil. The Bible isn't evil or anything. It's not. It's your perception of it that is the dark thing. It's like, I was watching a scientist lately on the internet. I'm always on YouTube, and he spoke about that your perceptions dictates everything. It's your perception, and that's just it. You know, your perception dictates your whole experience. But regarding YouTube, that's what I like. You know, I like to be on YouTube. Mainly for music, you know, I just like listening to music to try and ignore the world, basically. I don't like watching television or news or films or anything like that. There is some movies I like, but it's very rare, you know. And people have told me that my entire life, that it's hard to sit me down, and that's because I get bored very easily. That's why, you know, I couldn't have read the Bible, because I couldn't focus for that long, because I get, like I say, I get bored very easily. And because I get bored very easily, I try and be interesting on my videos, because I'm treating this like I'm speaking to myself. But this audiobooks, you know, regarding the Bible, it's really given me insight to what it is, and that's what it is, just stories. Just stories made up. You know, that's all it is. But you know, even this Bible talks about the same thing I talk about, which is nothingness. Even says that at the beginning of it. You know, and if there was a nothing once, then that means the nothing manifested this God or life, or whatever you want to call it. Because if you got nothing once, then that's before everything else. So that must manifest everything else. And if you've got a nothing, that means you've got an infinity. And what does infinity mean? It means that this moment has been an infinite number of times. That means there's no start point. So the whole line in the Bible about the beginning, it's like I say, it's not true, because it's a story. That's what I keep saying to people. But people take this stuff so serious. You know, religious people really do take it. They take the Bible and the religion as it's actually real. You know, there's people out there that believe the man went in the moon because they've seen it on their television. This is the level of maturity you're dealing with here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You're not dealing with real rational people, with real level-headed people. Most people are insane, and this is why I understand now. I used to think to myself, why would an idiot like me get the spiritual awakening? Because I'm not as much of an idiot as I actually think. The real idiots are the people that just conform and repeat things. You know, the way the system works is Everything comes from the top, and that dictates the universities, the schools, colleges, education system, and and everyone else is just like sheep and just repeating that, and letting a system define you and rule you, and you just repeating it. And the programming starts from when you're born. And the Bible is not. I don't believe the Bible is part of this initially. I think that basically the system took hold of that and thought, right, we've got to control perceptions, because then the perceptual state will see the Bible how the system wants you to see the Bible. The Bible is not some dark force. It's just a book of stories. It's just stories. It's just fairy tales, fantasy. But if your perception is at a certain level, you will believe this to be really, really true, and you'll be frightened and you'll be worried. For example, hell or the devil or the dark side is when I had this spiritual awakening. So you're never in any danger, right? Maybe this is why nothing bothers me, including something like the Bible. Maybe this is why I'm so light-hearted, because I've seen the worst of life, you see. And I realised that it's actually, the dark side of life is actually when you awaken, when you actually find out things about yourself. And it's actually the light. It's like at night time, the stars don't come out until it's a dark night. The big problem is trying to explain this to program people. Because, I think brainwashed people, I think what happens is, they get comfortable in their comfort zones, and when you're comfortable in your comfort zone, you don't want to come out. But the place of growth is when you're not comfortable. I think it was the great boxer Andre Ward that said that he learned himself to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, and that's basically what you've got to do. That is how you ascend. By facing your fears and being uncomfortable, and through that you'll be comfortable with that. You'll actually learn and develop how to be comfortable in that kind of uncomfortable situation. And that's when you're happy all the time, basically. But you can't get to this level until you have the dark moments in your life. That's what ascension is all about: duality, and understanding that you've got to have the negative before you can understand things, and then to go on to the positive road. Everything is duality, right? As soon as you have an experience, like I was saying, talking about God, everything comes from nothing. That means everything's already been. But to have my experience, I've got to be the experiencer, and this is the experience, so it's a dual. And that creates experience. So light and God and all that stuff is basically a duality experience, right? And as soon as you have awareness, you have duality. Now it can be any kind of experience. It doesn't matter what kind of experience it is. But as soon as you have awareness, you have a dual. And because it's an infinite nothing, that means it's an infinite duality, and that's why everything looks so vast and separate. Yeah. But it all comes from nothing, so it doesn't actually exist. When you go deep enough with it, it means that there is no self. It means that we are all just an infinite awareness, really, and that's all the nothing can be. I think just a dreaming kind of manifestation thing. That doesn't have a start point, doesn't have an end. It's always here. It's always present. But anyway, I'm just going to end it there. If you're watching, you're meant to watch it. Everything follows the divine order. Thank you much for watching. Thank you.